The air outside the Chicago Metropolitan Club crackled with the kind of tension only money and privilege could create. Marcus Johnson adjusted his brioni tie, the silk whispering against his fingers as he approached the velvet ropes. His custom Oxfords barely made a sound on the marble steps. The same couldn't be said for the security guard who materialized like a brick wall in a cheap suit. "Wrong line, buddy," the man barked, jabbing a thumb toward the sidewalk where a sea of hopefuls shivered in their overcoats. Marcus's invitation-thick cardstock with platinum foil fluttered slightly in the wind as he held it up. Across the rope, a cluster of Armani-clad executives paused their champagne sipping to watch. One, a silver-haired shark with the Patek Philippe gleaming on his wrist, smirked into his glass. "Looks like someone's lost," he murmured just loud enough to carry. His companion, a woman with frost-blonde highlights, didn't bother to lower her voice. Or someone's assistant forgot their place. The guard, emboldened by the laughter, reached for Marcus's arm. That's when the phone lights appeared, dozens of them glowing like fireflies in the dusk. A young Latina influencer named Sofia Mendez angled her camera, her live stream title already trending, "VIP Racism at the Met Club, Watch This Go Down." The chat exploded. "They're treating him like he's trespassing. That's Marcus Johnson. He literally runs the Midwest division of Veritas Capital." Marcus didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. "Tell me, Kevin," he said, reading the guard's name tag, "when's the last time you turned away a white guy for blending in too well?" The guard's radio squawked, and a manager materialized, sharp heels, sharper smile. "There's clearly been a clerical error," she said, her tone dripping with faux sympathy. "Our platinum guests typically don't arrive alone." That's when the black Escalade pulled up. The window rolled down, revealing the CEO of Veritas himself, Daniel Wright. "Marcus," he boomed, stepping out like the mic drop moment he was. "You're late. The Japanese investors are asking for you by name." The crowd parted like the Red Sea. As Marcus walked through, he paused just long enough to tap Kevin's name tag. "Pro tip: next time, Google someone before you embarrass your employer." Upstairs, the silver-haired executive was suddenly very interested in his shoes. Sophia's follower count hit 100K before the elevator doors closed. The tension in the lobby of the Metropolitan Club thickened like a storm rolling in off Lake Michigan. Marcus slid his phone back into his pocket, the words "Protocol 7" hanging in the air like a lit fuse. Rebecca's polished smile faltered for the first time. "Sir, this is unnecessary," she began, but the distant wail of sirens cut her off. Outside, two black SUVs with tinted windows screeched to a halt. A team of men in sharp suits, not security but corporate liaisons with Veritas Capital badges, marched through the doors. The silver-haired executive's champagne flute froze halfway to his lips. "What the hell is this?" he muttered. The lead liaison, a woman with a no-nonsense ponytail, handed Marcus a tablet. "Live feed from the board, sir. They've been watching." The screen showed a split-view Sophia's viral stream on one side, the horrified faces of the Met Club's board members on the other. A red "Terminate Contract" button blinked ominously. Kevin the guard paled. "Wait, you're—" The keynote speaker, Marcus, finished tapping the tablet. The event board flickered. Keynote address: Marcus Johnson, Veritas Capital Midwest, in 5 minutes. A collective gasp rippled through the VIP crowd. The frosty blonde woman dropped her clutch. Then came the twist no one expected. Sophia's camera panned to the ceiling where a drone, small and silent, hovered near the chandelier. Marcus hadn't just documented the scene. He'd live-streamed it to every major investor in the room. Rebecca lunged for her radio, but it was too late. The club's owner, a grizzled old-money patriarch named Charles Whitmore, emerged from the elevator, his face thunderous. "You dare treat my guest like this!" he roared, jabbing a finger at Kevin. "Pack your things, all of you." As Marcus strode toward the podium, he paused beside the silver-haired executive. "Funny," he murmured, adjusting his cufflinks. "I was here to talk about diversity in venture capital. Now I guess it's a masterclass in consequences." Sophia's phone buzzed with a notification 1M viewers. The hashtag Veritas vs Racists was trending. And upstairs, the board's emergency meeting had already begun. The air in the lobby grew heavier as Damon's fingers hovered over the briefcase latches. A hush fell over the crowd, even the clinking of champagne glasses from the VIP section stopped. Sullivan's request hung in the air like a dare. "Open it. Prove you belong." Then a voice cut through the silence. "That won't be necessary." All heads turned. A woman in a sleek pantsuit, early 40s, sharp-eyed with a Veritas Capital lanyard around her neck, stepped forward. "Mr. Johnson's credentials were verified weeks ago," she said, her tone ice-cold. She held up a tablet displaying Damon's VIP approval, complete with the Met Club's own watermark. Sullivan's jaw tightened. "And you are Elena Torres, head of investor relations at Veritas." She tapped the screen, and a video played footage from the club's own security cameras showing Tyler and Rebecca turning away 3 other black executives earlier that night. The crowd erupted. But the real twist came next. Damon finally unclipped his briefcase, not to comply, but to pull out a single sheet of paper. He held it up for the cameras. A signed contract, fresh ink, gleaming. "Funny timing," he said. "This just came through. Veritas is buying the Met Club's parent company. Effective midnight." The silver-haired executive choked on his drink. Sullivan's face went slack. Then, from the back of the crowd, a teenager in a hotel uniform pushed forward, her hand shaking as she held out a phone. "Mr. Johnson, it's for you." Damon put it on speaker. The voice of Charles Whitmore III, the club's actual owner, boomed through the lobby. "James, you're fired. And tell Rebecca she can keep her platinum standards at the unemployment office." As Damon walked toward the elevators, he paused beside Tyler. "You were right about one thing," he said, nodding at the now worthless VIP rope. "Integrity is everything." Outside, the general admission line erupted into applause. Sophia's live stream title updated, "How to Lose a Club in 10 Minutes." The view counter hit 2 million. The marble table had become a stage for public degradation, Damon's belongings splayed out like evidence in a trial. Then his tablet screen lit up with an incoming video call. The caller ID flashed Senator Elizabeth Cortez, D. Isle. Damon answered on speaker. "Marcus," the senator's voice crackled through the lobby, "we're live on C-SPAN right now discussing your media literacy bill. The committee's waiting. Are you still stuck at that ridiculous club?" Every phone in the room swung toward the tablet. The senator's face filled the screen, the Capitol dome visible behind her. The crowd's laughter died mid-breath. Richard Blackwood, the pharmaceutical CEO, suddenly found his scotch very interesting. Sandra Price from the tech startup took 3 steps back, melting into the crowd. Then came the second twist. A teenage busboy Latino in a too-big uniform shouldered through the VIP section, holding a hotel landline phone. "Mr. Johnson," his voice shook. "It's the White House Office of Public Engagement. They say it's urgent." Damon took the phone. "Johnson here." A pause. Then, deliberately loud enough for every microphone to catch, "Yes, Madam First Lady. I'll be there for the Literacy Initiative launch, assuming I can get out of this hotel lobby." The silver-haired executive dropped his glass. It shattered like the Met Club's reputation. Sullivan lunged for damage control. "Mr. Johnson, please, let's discuss this in my—" "Too late." Damon snapped his briefcase shut. "But since you're so fond of proof—" He pulled one last item from his inner pocket, a folded Chicago Tribune from that morning. The headline screamed, "WME CEO named chair of Mayor's Economic Task Force." Below it, Damon's photo smiled back at them. Maya's stream title updated, "VIPs learn what F around and find out means." Viewer count 4.7 million. As Damon walked toward the doors, the busboy called after him. "Sir, your job application, you said anyone could intern at WME." Damon didn't break stride. "Email my assistant, kid. You just got promoted to narrator of this mess." Outside, the general admission line erupted into cheers. Inside, Sullivan's resignation letter was already drafting itself. The tension in the lobby reached a breaking point as Damon finished repacking his briefcase with deliberate calm. Just as Tyler moved to physically escort him out, the hotel's glass doors burst open. A wave of camera lights flooded the space. WCHI's news crew had arrived, their live broadcast already tagged, "Corporate Racism Unfolding Live at Meridian Hotel." Janet Kim, the producer, shoved a microphone toward Sullivan. "Mr. Sullivan, is it standard policy at the Meridian to search black executives' belongings while allowing white guests to pass unchecked?" Sullivan's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Behind him, Rebecca's perfect composure cracked as she realized the news cameras were panning to her name badge. Then Damon's phone rang again. This time he put it on speaker before answering. "Johnson." "Marcus, it's Robert from the Wall Street Journal," boomed the voice. "We're running your op-ed on systemic bias in corporate America tomorrow, just confirming this is the same Meridian Hotel Group currently bidding for the city's tourism contract." A collective gasp swept through the crowd. The silver-haired executive, who moments earlier had been chuckling with his colleagues, suddenly paled. His company, Blackwood Pharmaceuticals, had just invested $20 million in Meridian's expansion. Damon locked eyes with Sullivan. "You were right about one thing. This is educational." He tapped his briefcase. "Lesson 1, when you humiliate a man who owns 3 media companies, you're not just insulting him. You're handing him the rope to hang your reputation." As if on cue, the event board flashed red, "Keynote address canceled due to unforeseen circumstances." Outside, a black town car pulled up. The driver stepped out holding a sign that read, "Washington Media Enterprises Private Executive Transfer." Maya's livestream comments exploded as Damon walked past the now silent VIP line. One message stood out: "Meridian stock down 9% in after-hours trading." The last shot viewers saw before the stream ended, the busboy from earlier handing Damon a note with his contact info, and the 3 security guards suddenly very interested in checking white attendees' invitations. The marble lobby became so silent you could hear the champagne bubbles popping in abandoned glasses. Every phone screen now showed the same thing: Damon Washington's Wikipedia page, his net worth $1.2 billion, and most damning, his position as Meridian Hotel Group's largest minority shareholder. The elderly white man who'd complained about standards dropped his drink. The glass shattered like the illusion of control. Hayes' voice turned lethal. "James, you have exactly 10 seconds to escort Mr. Washington to the penthouse suite before I fly there myself." But Damon raised a hand. "That won't be necessary, Bill." He turned to the crowd, his voice carrying the weight of a gavel. "Effective immediately, WME is recalling all Meridian shares for an emergency board vote." He tapped his phone. Across the lobby, every news producer's earpiece crackled with breaking alerts. Meridian stock halted pending major announcement. Then came the twist no one expected. A teenage valet, black acne-scarred in a uniform 2 sizes too big, stepped forward holding out a folded piece of paper. "Mr. Washington, I wrote down every name of every person who laughed at you." His hand shook, but his voice didn't. "My mom cleans their offices. They all got secret settlements last year for stuff like this." The paper passed to Damon like a grenade with the pin pulled. Maya's livestream comments went nuclear as Damon unfolded it. The camera caught 3 executives bolting for the exits, including Sandra Price, whose tech startup had just taken Meridian as a client. Damon turned to Sullivan. "You wanted proof I belonged here." He held up the valet's list. "This is Chicago's real VIP list." As he walked toward the elevators, the event board updated one final time: "New keynote speaker Damon Washington. How to lose a fortune in 30 minutes. Outside, WCHI's anchor whispered to viewers, We've just learned Washington Media Enterprises owns 22% of our parent company, too. Back to you, Bob. And, in the shadows, the busboy hit send on an email to WME's HR department with 87 eyewitness statements attached. The lobby's chandelier flickered as if even the electricity was holding its breath. Damon adjusted his cuffs, the platinum cufflinks catching the light, the same ones Tyler had earlier dismissed as probably fake. Let's clarify something. Damon said, his voice smooth as aged whiskey. I don't own the hotel. I own 31% of the company that owns it. He tapped his phone. The event board changed again. Emergency board vote termination of Meridian management team. 87% shareholder approval. Gasps erupted. Sandra Price's phone clattered to the floor, her startup's entire funding round evaporating with that single percentage. Then came the moment Maya's viewers would replay 3 million times. The teenage valet stepped forward again, this time with a hotel iPad. Sir, the front desk just got 47 reservation cancellations. All from, he swallowed hard. The guys who were laughing at you. Damon didn't smile. He didn't need to. The distant wail of a police siren grew louder outside, not for him, but for Richard Blackwood, whose pharmaceutical company was now trending under RX racism after someone leaked his standards comment to the FDA tip line. Hayes' voice crackled through the phone again, desperate now. Damon, name your terms. 3 things. Damon counted them off on fingers that had signed billion-dollar deals. 1, Sullivan, Rebecca, and Tyler clean out their desks tonight. 2, every employee who witnessed this gets mandatory equity shares. And 3, he glanced at the valet. This young man runs the next diversity training. As the elevator doors opened, the crowd finally saw what the platinum entrance had hidden, all along a wall-sized screen displaying the keynote title Inclusive Leadership in Modern Capitalism, with Damon's face beside it. Maya's stream ended with 2 shots, the silver-haired executive vomiting into a potted palm, and Damon handing the valet a business card with the word internship crossed out and VP of Operations scrawled beneath it. The final comment visible before she signed off, Meridian stock down 37% in pre-market trading. The lobby's massive LED screen flickered to life, displaying a live Bloomberg terminal feed. 3 headlines pulsed in red. 1, WME initiates hostile takeover of Meridian Hotel Group. 2, Chicago mayor suspends 40 members convention, contract with Meridian for 3. Blackstone Group cancels 300 meters acquisition talks. The silver-haired executive collapsed into a chair, his Rolex cracking against the marble armrest. Lesson 2, Damon said, pocketing his phone. When you humiliate a man who sits on the Federal Reserve's Diversity Council, you're not just insulting him, you're bankrupting your investors. Then came the twist even Hayes didn't see coming. The hotel's front doors swung open to reveal Dr. Angela Williams and a phalanx of NAACP lawyers, their briefcases stuffed with discrimination complaints. Mr. Washington, Dr. Williams called out, we've got 147 witnesses here ready to testify. The EEOC just fast-tracked our case. Sullivan made a noise like a deflating balloon. Damon checked his watch again, the same PC Philippe that had proved he didn't belong. 14 minutes. Let's make them count. He turned to Tyler, whose uniform was now drenched in sweat. You wanted to see my credentials. With a final tap, Damon's face appeared on every screen in the building, including the phone still recording as CNBC's morning ticker announced, WME CEO named to Fortune 500 Diversity Task Force by unanimous vote. Maya's stream ended with Damon's mic drop to Hayes. Keep your apologies. I'll take my board seat instead. The last visible comment, Meridian shares now trading at 52-week low. As the elevator doors closed, one final message flashed on the event board. New keynote title, How to Build Empire from the Ashes of Stupidity. The LED screen split into 3 live feeds. CNN running chyrons about corporate accountability in real time. The Chicago mayor giving an impromptu press conference denouncing Meridian's systemic failures. And most damning, a Zoom call with Meridian's top 20 investors all staring at their phones in horror. Damon adjusted his tie, the same Hermes silk Tyler had called a decent knockoff, and turned to the valet. "What's your name, son?" "Jamal, sir." The kid's voice didn't shake this time. "Jamal, how many black employees work at this hotel?" A beat. Then loud enough for every mic to catch, "Counting housekeeping 17, sir. None in management." The silence was nuclear. Damon didn't need to check his phone this time. The gasps from the crowd said it all. Even Hayes's voice through the speaker had gone silent. Then came the final twist. The elevator doors opened again, but instead of hotel staff out, stepped 3 teenagers in Black Excellence Matters hoodies rolling a portable kiosk. The lead kid tapped a tablet and the lobby's screens switched to a website, www.meridiantruth.org, live updating with every racist comment, every smirk, every deleted tweet from the night's events. "Surprise," Damon said softly. "My interns built this in 40 minutes. Imagine what my engineering team can do with 48 hours. Sullivan made a noise like a dying car engine. Damon checked his watch, the same PC Philippe that had proven he was an imposter. 12 minutes to keynote. Let's discuss how we restructure this company before I own 51% by morning." As he walked toward the elevators, Maya's live feed caught one last exchange. "Mr. Washington," Tyler blurted out. "What about our jobs?" Damon didn't even turn around. "Apply online like everyone else." The event board flashed crimson new keynote title, "How to Lose a Fortune in 4 Hours a Masterclass." Outside, the first protesters' chants reached the lobby. "Hey, hey, ho, ho, racist hotels have got to go." And in the shadows, Jamal the valet tapped send on an email to WME's legal team with 89 signed witness statements attached. The LED screens in the lobby suddenly switched to live footage from the hotel's own security cameras, time-stamped footage of Tyler waving through 3 white executives without checking their invitations earlier that evening. The contrast was brutal. "Your standard procedure seems remarkably flexible," Damon said, tapping his tablet. The screen split again, this time showing Tyler's LinkedIn profile alongside his personnel file, including 3 prior complaints about racial profiling from other black guests. All marked resolved with no disciplinary action. Rebecca made a small strangled noise. Then came the twist no one anticipated. A sharp ding echoed through the lobby as the elevators opened. Out stepped a woman in a crisp pantsuit, flanked by 2 associates carrying document boxes. "Mr. Washington," she announced, "I'm Alicia Cho from the Illinois Attorney General's Civil Rights Division. We've been monitoring this situation." She held up a court order. "Meridian Hotel Group is hereby served with an immediate investigation into systemic discrimination practices." The crowd erupted. Phones swung to capture the moment as Cho's associates began distributing subpoenas, not just to Sullivan and Rebecca, but to every executive who'd laughed or filmed Damon's humiliation. Damon didn't smile. He didn't need to. The numbers on his tablet told the story Meridian's stock price had just triggered a circuit breaker, halting trading after a 45% plunge. Lesson 3, he said, adjusting the same cufflinks that had proven he didn't belong. When you target a man who chairs the mayor's economic advisory board, you're not just fighting him. You're fighting the entire city of Chicago. As if on cue, the event board updated new keynote start time now. Title, How $12 million in Contracts Disappears in 60 Minutes. Outside, the protesters' chants grew louder. Inside, Tyler was already removing his security badge. And in the back, Jamal the valet quietly accepted a business card from Alicia Cho with Whistleblower Protection Unit, printed in bold across the top. Maya's live stream ended with Damon's final words before entering the elevator. "Mr. Sullivan, my legal team will be in touch. They're the ones who wrote Section 12.4. The last visible comment, Meridian just lost their city tax abatement. Happy Black History Month indeed. The lobby's massive screens flickered again, this time displaying 3 simultaneous live feeds, the Chicago City Council voting unanimously to revoke Meridian's operating license pending investigation, the NYSE halting trading of Meridian stock, and Damon's own legal team filing a class action discrimination suit on behalf of every black guest turned away at Meridian Properties in the last 5 years. Then came the mic drop no one saw coming. A teenage intern from WME stepped forward holding up a single sheet of paper. "Sir, the numbers just came in. Since this live stream began, 312 Meridian employees have emailed HR resignations, including—" She paused dramatically. "The entire Diversity Council." Sullivan looked like he might vomit on his $1 $200 loafers. Damon didn't even glance at the paper. "Fifth demand." He continued, his voice cutting through the chaos. "Meridian will fund a $50 million hospitality scholarship program exclusively for students of color, administered by Washington Media Enterprises." The crowd erupted. Maya's livestream comments exploded with fire emojis as the hashtag Black Excellence Strikes Back trended nationwide. But the real twist came when the silver-haired executive, now sweating through his Brioni suit, lunged forward. "Washington, you can't just—" "Actually, Charles," Damon interrupted, reading the man's Rolex-engraved name for the first time, "I can." He tapped his tablet. The screen switched to a SEC filing. Washington Media Enterprises acquires 18.7% stake in Blackwood Pharmaceuticals. Charles Blackwood's face went slack. His own company. As Damon turned toward the elevators, the event board updated with brutal finality. New keynote, How to Destroy Systemic Racism in One Evening. Spoiler, it costs $12 million per minute. Outside, the protesters' chants morphed into cheers. Inside, Rebecca was already scrubbing Meridian Hotels from her LinkedIn, and in the shadows, Jamal the valet received 2 messages simultaneously, a full-ride scholarship notification from WME, and a LinkedIn connection request from the Attorney General. Maya signed off with one final shot, Charles Blackwood hyperventilating into a $500 handkerchief as his net worth evaporated in real time on the Bloomberg terminal behind him. The last visible comment, Meridian just got canceled harder than 1990s sitcoms. The lobby's screens suddenly switched to a live feed of William Hayes's car barreling down Lakeshore Drive, his face grim on the dashboard camera as he shouted into his phone, "Tell Sullivan if he screws this up any further, he'll be lucky to get a job managing a Motel 6. Maya's livestream viewers hit 1.3 million just as Damon dropped his final bomb. "Ninth demand," he said, tapping his tablet. The screens displayed a contract addendum. All Meridian properties will implement facial recognition software tied to the FBI's civil rights violation database to flag known discriminators at check-in. Charles Blackwood let out an audible whimper. "10th," Damon continued. "You'll fund a $5 million restitution fund for past victims of discrimination with claims adjudicated by my legal team." Sullivan's phone buzzed again. The text read, "Board just voted 12-0. Do whatever he says." Then came the twist that broke the internet. The elevator doors opened to reveal 12 black teenagers in future CEOs, hoodies rolling in a portable stock ticker. The lead kid announced, "Mr. Washington, your short position on Meridian stock just cleared $28 million." Also, he grinned, "Harvard Law called. They want to make tonight a case study." Damon didn't even blink. 11th Meridian will endow that Harvard case study with $2 million and hire its top graduate annually as chief equity officer. As Hayes's Mercedes screeched up to the hotel entrance, the event board updated with savage finality, new keynote title, How to Turn Racism into a $100 Million Corporate Overhaul. Outside, protesters began chanting, "Damon for mayor." Inside, Charles Blackwood was seen frantically Googling how to file for bankruptcy. And in the corner, Jamal, now trending on Twitter as valet of justice, received his 3rd life-changing notification of the night, a full-page Wall Street Journal ad featuring his photo with the caption, Meet Meridian's new diversity consultant salary, $250K. Maya signed off with 2 shots, Hayes sprinting through the doors with his tie askew, and Tyler the guard quietly shredding his resume into a $900 hotel ashtray. The last comment visible, "Racism just became the most expensive hobby in America." The camera panned to reveal the same marble lobby transformed, the VIP ropes replaced by a welcome all hologram, Tyler's old security podium now displaying real-time diversity metrics. But the real showstopper, the silver-haired Charles Blackwood, now in a Meridian janitor's uniform mopping floors, under Jamal's supervision as the new guest relations director. "Funny how life works," Maya quipped to her 500K live viewers. "Turns out actual VIPs don't need velvet ropes to know they belong." The shot widened to reveal Damon Washington descending the staircase not in a suit, but in a diversity dividend hoodie, shaking hands with the same teenage busboy who'd handed him that damning list months earlier. Now the kid wore a Chief Equity Officer badge. Biggest change. Damon said to Maya's camera, gesturing to the lobby screens showing Meridian's stock price up 72% since implementing his reforms. "Turns out inclusion isn't just ethical, it's wildly profitable." The final twist. The event board behind them displayed that night's keynote title, "How 63 million in lost value became 200 million in new business." As the camera faded out, 2 final images flashed. Yomers 1. Rebecca Carter's LinkedIn profile now listing her as manager of a Motel 6 in Nebraska. A Forbes cover featuring Damon and Jamal with the headline, "The duo that taught corporate America to stop being stupid." Maya signed off with a mic drop. "Y'all keep calling this a redemption arc. Nah, this is what happens when excellence meets leverage." The last comment visible before the stream ended, "Racism stock just crashed. Buy shares in justice instead." The camera panned to reveal Damon Washington standing beside an unexpected figure, Tyler, the former security guard, now wearing a diversity training facilitator badge. "Funny thing about accountability," Tyler told Maya's 600K viewers, his voice steady. "Turns out when you're given real training instead of just lip service, you stop seeing threats where they don't exist." The screens behind them displayed a stunning before and after. 1. Then, the viral clip of Tyler blocking Damon, Yichantu. Now, footage of Tyler stopping a white executive from harassing a black female guest last week, the incident that earned him Employee of the Month. But the real mic drop came when the hotel doors slid open to reveal William Hayes himself, wheeling in a bronze statue titled "The Moment of Reckoning," a lifelike depiction of Damon's PC Philippe watch glinting as he'd held up his invitation months earlier. 12th demand, Damon said with a grin. "Every Meridian property gets one of these in their lobby. As a learning opportunity." Maya zoomed in on the plaque. "Here marks where a $63 million lesson was learned. Excellence wears every color." As the live stream ended, 2 final shots flashed. 1. Rebecca Carter's Motel, 6, now sporting a proud participant in the Meridian Inclusion Initiative, sign. 2. Charles Blackwood's janitorial crew winning Most Improved Diversity Metrics with a bonus check bigger than his former quarterly dividends. The last comment visible, "Turns out anti-racism is the ultimate growth stock." The camera lingered on the Meridian's new lobby centerpiece, a digital monument scrolling real-time diversity metrics from every property worldwide, with one number flashing in gold, 287 revenue increase since reforms. Then came the twist that made Maya's audience gasp. The young black executive who'd just entered, he was Charles Blackwood's son, now VP of Diversity at his father's former company, handing Damon a check for the first $10 million installment of their restitution fund. "Funny how life works," Damon said, turning to Maya's camera. "Turns out the best ROI comes from investing in people instead of prejudice." The screens behind them displayed 3 final images. 1. Then the viral clip of Tyler blocking Damon. 2. Now that same spot where Tyler now trains Fortune 500 security teams. 3. Future. A live feed of Jamal cutting the ribbon on WME's new 50 Matters Center for Corporate Justice. As Maya signed off, the event board updated with perfect symmetry. Today's keynote, how 63 million in lost value grew into 1.2 billion in shared prosperity. The last comment visible before the stream ended came from an anonymous user. Racism didn't just get canceled tonight, it got outmaneuvered, outplayed, and outearned. The screen faded to black before revealing one final image, the Meridian Hotel's platinum entrance, now permanently renamed the Washington Gateway. A diverse group of executives passed through, each greeted by Tyler's team with the same respect Damon had demanded. Then came the twist that brought Maya's audience to their feet. A familiar figure stepped into frame, Charles Blackwood, now wearing a diversity consultant badge, handing Damon a check for $20 million for the restitution fund, he muttered. And I'm matching it personally. The camera zoomed in on the memo line. For every dollar I lost, may someone gain opportunity. Maya's voiceover wrapped the documentary. This wasn't just a story about racism. It was a masterclass in turning pain into power and proving that in the end, the balance sheet of justice always settles accounts.